Jo Labbé here with Star Nations Radio Network, and we're broadcasting to you live through Be Live TV this evening. Hi. We are in some fun energy right now. I'm sure a number of you are feeling it. So that's what Soul Connections is all about, to help you do your own personal growth and your own healing. And I'm here to help you connect to your spiritual team and get some healing for yourself. And we all could use it. There's been a lot of, change in our lives, and maybe it's creating some interesting situations or emotions to come up in you. And this is a way for you to get a little support. And then after we do our healing, our meditation to kind of clear away the gunk and the garbage, then I pull cards for you and give you some divine messages. And tonight's cards are the Earth Magic cards. These ones are by Stephen Farmer. Sorry, trying to get the glint off it. There we go. And Stephen Farmer's cards, for me, they bring out the Gaia energy, the Earth Mother energy. And so often that means we're getting some messages from Mother Earth on what she senses we can use, or what we might need to facilitate some deeper healing, some deeper growth. And so if you would like me to pull a card for you after the meditation, all you have to do is type in yes, please, and we will pull the cards in the order of their appearance in our production studio, which might be a little bit different than your news feed because we're gathering them from different sources than you might see. So there you have it. So I know there's already a few people in the house, so I want to say hi to Alyssa and Rob, Sandy, your daughter, Margaret, Marie, Dinah, Lynn, Troy, Ann. Look at you guys. You're already here. So welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. And I want to say a quick shout out to my producer, Cooper, for being a super trooper and being here for me and helping me navigate, because when you're in healing mode and healing energy, sometimes it's a little difficult to navigate technology at the same time. So he's here to be that extra support, because he's very grounded in technology and I am not. So there we have it. So if you guys could help out to get the message out, to get the word out that we're going to do some healing work tonight. You could share it out into Facebook land, either put it on your page or in a group, or send a message to someone that might need it. For those of you who are, like Rob or Minnie, if you could share it to the Star Nations group as well, because Neshie's giving herself a well-deserved break, because she has been having some fluctuations, as we all are. So we're going to let her take a little breather tonight. So if you guys could share that out, that would be great. And I see a number of other people have joined us, so good. Looks like we're starting to get the energy rolling. So there we have it. And for those of you who are really starting to explore what's going on for you as well, I am doing a psychic development class called Walking the Pathway. And in that class, we're talking about our spiritual gifts, that are psychic and intuitive gifts, and how they are growing and changing. So this is for people who are brand new, and for people who have done it for a long time and are noticing in this new era, in this new energy, that maybe things aren't working the way they used to. And my team has given me a bunch of information to help share with people on how to work with that. And that class is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And if it's something that you're interested in, we're doing it by Zoom. So I'd be happy to send the link to you. So just give me a message and I'd be happy. And our first class was last week, but it is recorded if you want that. And yeah, it's a 4-week class and I'm enjoying it tremendously because there's so much cool information that's coming through. So it looks like we've got a number of people already in the house. So I'm going to start with a meditation because I want to make sure to get to everyone with the card reading if I can. And oh, thank you for all the well wishes last week with me canceling. I had a real big depletion of energy right before, probably about 2 hours before my show, and my stomach hurt. So it just didn't seem like I was going to make it 2 hours. So I took care of me. And so many of you helped out with the sending your thoughts with me, and I really appreciate that. So, and I was great by the next day. So there you go. All right. So we're going to start by grounding our energy. So let's take a big deep breath. We're just going to really try to focus our energy on our physical body, about sort of letting go of any stress we've been carrying. Take another deep breath. And blow out. And just be really aware of your muscles and how they are, the bones in your body. Allow gravity to just push down on you. Feeling your connection to the earth, the magnetics. And just allow it to hold you comfortably, safely. And we're going to start by creating a cord to help anchor us so that we feel very connected and very solid. And we're going to use our heart to do that. So we're going to imagine in the very center of our heart this beautiful green cord. Maybe it's got some swirl of pink. We're going to allow that cord to go from our heart down to our solar plexus. Grounding and connecting, centering our energy. And now inviting that cord to go from our solar plexus down below our belly button to our second chakra in the sacral. And letting that cord ground, center, and connect us. And now allowing that cord to go from our sacral down to our root chakra near the base of our tailbone. And still seeing that green or pink swirl as it grounds and connects and centers our energy. And inviting that cord to go down each leg, anchoring us. In all aspects of our energy, our physical life, our spiritual life. And as it goes down through our feet and connects deep within the earth plane, just notice how much wider the cord gets, the connectors get, almost like roots of a tree, expanding the deeper it goes beneath the surface. Allowing the cord to go all the way to the molten lava center of the earth. Anchoring in connection to Grandmother Earth, Gaia, and the Divine Feminine, fully and completely. And inviting that cord of connection to expand into the size of a cylinder so that you have more room and more space for energy to flow to you and through you. And now inviting that same cord to move up through, from your heart, through your throat, and your third eye and your crown, all the way to the divine above. So again, seeing that green and pink cord moving up to the throat, grounding and connecting your authentic truth to your heart, and all of that unconditional love of the Divine Feminine. And then allowing that cord to move from the throat to the third eye. Expanding and awakening your perception, your intuition. Allowing that to ground and center. And allowing the cord to connect to your crown, to the Divine Masculine, and allowing that cord to go all the way up to the very center of creation, to the very center of the Divine Masculine and where our soul was first perceived. And allowing that cord to ground and anchor and to expand into a wider, fuller sphere, welcoming in more energy to gather within your heart space, inviting that energy to radiate out from your heart through all the layers of your aura, shielding and protecting your energy, strengthening your immunity, repairing and restoring any holes or tears that your aura may have, or any ways that your energy may be compromised in this dimension and others, in all frequencies and vibrations as well, in each and every direction. And inviting in your spiritual team to guide you and assist you more fully, more completely, opening the pathways of communication, so that you may understand the messages more clearly, more fully. And setting the intention, as always, that the healing work done here is for the good of all and harm to none, allowing each to receive their highest benefit. And welcoming the divine energy to begin clearing away any energy that no longer serves us, any energy we have picked up from others, any energy that is too dense or too heavy for us to carry forward. Beginning by releasing the pressure at the crown, in the forehead, the sinuses, behind our eyes, allowing us to see more fully and awaken our energy more easily with grace. Releasing the energy constricting our throat, anything impacting our ability to speak our truth or to feel comfortable expressing who we truly are and who we are meant to be. Releasing words of judgment and anger and frustration that we've said or received. Releasing any stress and anxiety, tension that we've held in the neck and the shoulders. All of the responsibilities we have shouldered in that space. Releasing all attachments, any energy that is distracting us from our own unique self. Allowing the energy in our back gently be removed if it no longer supports us. Inviting our angelic team to gently take away any energy once more that is not ours, and any energy that is not in our highest benefit. And allowing space around our lungs and our heart for the pure breath of life to come in, cleanse, restore, and release. So much disappointment and sadness that we've held in here, that our inner child has carried for us and for the other children you have encountered in this lifetime, in each and every lifetime. Inviting the energy of joy, contentment, excitement, wonder to come in more brightly than you have ever allowed. And lovingly releasing any stress and anxiety that you've carried in your belly, any worry, overwhelm that you felt, whether it was yours or anyone else's. Releasing the anger and frustration that may have come up recently or even in the past. Allowing the judgment energy to slide off you and any of the resentment that you've carried with that. Allowing the anger to dissolve, restoring peace and balance to the fire within so that you can access your creativity, your desires, your passions more fully. Infusing your life force energy with the fullness of who you truly are. Moving down into your lower belly. Bringing your flow back into balance in all aspects of your life. In each area within your physical body. Bringing flow back to your emotions, your feelings. Even flow to your logic and your understanding. And flow in connection to spirit, the divine in yourself. And allowing the energy to clear through your hips and into the root chakra, near your tailbone. Releasing any energy that is creating instability in your foundation around money, family, work, home, even the economy and health. Sweeping away that which is unsettling, creating a firm foundation for you to stand on, and the flexibility to adapt to the ever-changing environment we are in. And allowing any released energy to fall off of you into the earth plane, to go down your grounding cord. And inviting the divine energy to fill in all the places where you are courageous enough to release old energy, filling it with unconditional love and light. And taking a moment to send healing energy, waves of healing to those in need, those who need strength and courage, those who need clearing and release, all for their highest benefit. And taking a moment of gratitude with our spiritual team for being present with us this evening to guide and assist us, to remind us how to connect more fully and completely with the healing energy that we are able to access. And gently bringing our attention and our awareness back into our physical body, into the room and the space that we are occupying. Feeling the weight of our body and our bones, the muscles on top of the bones, our clothes. You can gently begin to wiggle your fingers, rub your hands together, rub your feet on the floor, stretch, yawn, whatever will help you anchor and come back into now with me. Maybe have a sip of water. Nice. All right. So here we are. And again, I'm your host, Jo Labbé. For some reason, we've got the stay-at-home thing going on up top, and no chakra sessions frame with my name on it today, so I don't know what that means, but you know, Be Live switches it up. So here we are. This is our deck for this evening, Earth Magic with Stephen Farmer. There are many of you who probably know this deck. I just want to tell you, I use cards to channel messages for you from my spiritual team and yours. They may not match exactly what the book might say, because that's not exactly the message that wants to come through. But using cards allows you to have a visual anchor to see the message and for it to be received in more than one way. Does that make sense? So if you would like for me to pull a card for you, feel free to type in yes, please. And I will pull them in the order that they are given. So it looks like Alyssa Plant is our first one. Hi, dearest. Welcome to the show. So your card, my dear, is the Meadow card. And in this deck, Meadow is all about vulnerability. And that really is true, because when you're standing in a meadow, you're wide open. People can see you from all angles, and you're letting yourself be out there. So like for animals like deer, you know, to step out fully into an open meadow, you leave yourself open to prey. So often they stand on the edge, right? So that they can run back into the forest and stay protected. So what I'm hearing for you right now is that there's some courage and strength that you're meant to connect to that comes from being open and being vulnerable. And sometimes that's just speaking our truth. That's just saying, hey, this is who I am, and you can take it or leave it, but I'm going to be true to me, and I'm going to stand out in the middle of the meadow. And you can take pot shots at me if you want to, but you know, meadows are pretty big. So for them to match you, they've got to step in too and be vulnerable too. Otherwise, they're standing off on the edge of the forest, and those arrows are going to kind of miss you. So when we do the vulnerability, it's meant to be done from our heart space. And as we do it from our heart space, there's a lot of beauty and joy that happens there. And what's in the middle of the meadow but the beautiful flowers. And if people aren't willing to go out there, they don't get to see them. So go smell the flowers and be true to yourself and be really open and see what happens. And it seems like it's going to be a really lovely thing for you. All right, Rob. Hello. Oh, interesting. I'm pulling the eagle. I don't know if you, I heard, I didn't get to see it, but I heard that Neshi pulled eagle today as well. So eagle medicine is big. So in this deck, the eagle is the communion card. And the communion card is, you know, the eagle is a representation of the connecting and communicating with the divine. It's big medicine, as they would say. So what I'm feeling for you is that this is a time in this next week where there's some really open channels of communication that you can have with your spiritual team in a new way, that there's wisdom that's coming in for you at this time that maybe you haven't been open enough to receive until now. Sometimes the vibration of the earth plane and our own vibration have to line up like a puzzle in a particular way for the other piece to drop in. And so it feels like a very high energy time for you in this next week. So be prepared to either record it vocally or to write it, just to give yourself some quiet time to listen, because the best communication happens when we're both able to listen. And in the communion, there's this reverence and ritual. So you may want to invite the divine in to come in communion with you in whatever way works for you. You know, for me, I light candles. I have certain crystals that I put out. I might light sage or spray one of my oil blends. Those are all things that I do that welcome in particular energy. So whatever feels like it's calling to you, try that. Okay? All right, Sandy, let's do you first. So your card is the waterfall card. So the waterfall card is all about really not efforting. When we're trying to make things happen, that's all we end up doing is trying. And so it's releasing the reins and just letting the flow go. And when that happens, things just slide into place. And sometimes we're amazed by that. But when we use that phrase, can you believe it? We stop, we dam up the water and stop it from flowing as fully. So see how you can release any sense of needing to control energy and just allowing it to be effortless, you know, and even inviting in the mantras of, you know, I walk effortlessly through my day. Something as easy as that can allow things to just flow the way they're meant to, and to help remind our logic brain, our ego self, that we don't need to control everything, that it will happen naturally without us. All right, and for your daughter, Jennifer, nice card. So your card is childhood card, and this is about innocence. And so what I'm feeling this about for you is, you know, listen to your inner child right now. The inner child holds this purity and this innocence and so much wisdom that we forget to tap into. And the way to listen to our inner child is to invite it to come out and play. And when we do that, we get to experience life again from that untainted place. Children are naturally curious, and they're fearless a lot of the times. And so how can you find that fearless curiosity and the joy in play, and how that can work for you? Because there's a lot of energy, creation energy, that wants to come out. It's like it's birthing for you, and your child holds the key. I like to even let my inner child make like a magic wand to help bring her out, let her feel her magic. So maybe give that, something like that, a try, even if it's creating some art or something. But let your inner child have some play time so that you can rekindle that relationship. All right. Thanks for joining us. Margaret. So your card is the ceremony card. And it says invocation as part of that. So notice she's having a very sacred meal and a candle. So lots of times when we do, I guess it's not really a meal, she's doing energy healing over a crystal, and there's a snake there, but I was feeling a meal for you. So it feels like there's something that you need to have a ceremony about. And whatever ritual, that can be as simple as having a meal that's important to you, to your family, that gathering time. We've been missing out on some of our rituals and our ceremonies. We may have missed out on doing Mother's Day the way we're used to, or many of us missed Easter or Passover. And so we're craving some of those ceremonies. And so if you haven't gotten to do that, maybe find a way to bring that in. And I keep seeing a meal. I don't know if that's a big thing for you, if you like to cook or bake, but I'm seeing the table and the food laid out, and you may not be able to gather in the way that you're used to gathering, but that's what technology is for, right? We can still create that if we truly need it to fill our soul. And when we do an invocation, we call in the divine in a particular way. So maybe you're just having a meal with the divine and asking them to be present in your life and through the celebration of the food. How's that? All right, have fun with that. Let's see, Marie. Hi, sweetie. Happy Wednesday. Oh, this fits you so lovely. So here is the love and compassion card. And notice how the two hands are touching the heart and spreading the healing. So love heals all wounds, right? And so it's filling ourselves with compassion, feeling compassion to share with other people, but really loving ourselves and stopping the judging of ourselves, and just giving ourselves a break, just being in that place of like loving ourselves in such a way that we are able to then share that love more fully with other people, but show other people how to love themselves. What I'm seeing and sensing around that with you has to do with, as you're showing compassion and love for yourself, your children are learning how to do that for themselves. And it becomes part of their tradition as well, that they understand that, when you love yourselves, it's wonderful to receive love from other people, but you don't need their validation. You don't need them to tell you you're wonderful. You just are. So touch your heart with some compassion. Send some healing love to your heart if it needs it. And if it gets overwhelmed and cryy, give it a hug and hold space for it, because it's healing into a fuller, bigger place. Nice. All right, Dinah. All right. So let's do the Milky Way for you. And this is about the perspective. You know, when the Milky Way comes in, it's like, if we had this galaxy view, would we see our problems as that big? Or would we realize they're just a speck in the universe? And so sometimes when we're having difficulty figuring things out or creating change, we need to separate ourselves. We need to get some perspective. We need to get a little emotional distance, because when we're triggered, we have no perspective. You know that. And when we're in that place, you know, later we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got upset about that. But when you're able to feel the trigger, you know, and then take a deep breath and give yourself a chance to really listen to somebody else, really try to hear them. And then that makes space for them to really hear you, so that you don't have to get triggered by their trigger. I guess that's the best way. It's like, what I'm seeing is, you know, somebody comes up to you and they're reacting one way, and then you're reacting, and then it just creates this battle of wills, and neither one of you are happy with that. It's not helpful. It's not happy. It doesn't make your heart sing. So think about, you know, putting on that galaxy perspective when things come up, and decide whether they're worth going to battle over. Or maybe there's another way to approach it. That's the best thing I got coming in. All right. Good luck with that, sweetie. All right. Let's see. Who's next? Lynn, hello. All right. So your card is the Fairies card. And this is the Earth Magic card. So what I'm getting for you is that it's time for you to call in the fairies. Call in some more Earth Magic. They're actually very active right now. Not that they haven't been active, but they've been very playful. I've been seeing them, hearing them more. My cats are playing with them more. So one of the things that you might want to do is do something to connect your energy to the fairies. Lots of times I put sparkly things out for them on my altar, or I will just even put a picture of a fairy on my altar to let them know that I want to connect with them. And that helps you access your personal Earth Magic. It allows you to connect to nature stronger. It allows you to connect to the trees and the elementals, as well as the fairies, and you have a really strong connection to that type of magic, that type of healing energy, that very grounded shamanic energy really can flow through you. So it's asking for a little bit of connection, maybe just a little more time than you've been able to give it. So focus on that a little bit in the next week and see what doorways that opens up for you. All right. Troy, hi, welcome to the show. So your card is the Desert, and this is all about the Vision Quest. So the Desert card is an invitation for you to do some spiritual reflection. You know, a vision quest, you go out, you do it alone, you do it in circumstances where you maybe don't have as much food or water. And we're already doing the isolation quite a bit. So I have been feeling like a lot of the energy is inviting humanity to do their own vision quest right now. And so as that energy is coming in, how can you take this opportunity to go inward? Maybe spend a day technology free so that you can just be in connection with yourself. Like literally take a day off from everything. And, you can put a post out, to your close friends and families and say, hey, I'm taking, I'm doing a personal quest. And so I'm going to be, blacking out Facebook or whatever for a day or two or for a weekend, so that I can have a little space and time to do my own work. Or you can create some kind of excuse that will get people not to bother you. You're not feeling well or something. So, but give yourself permission to do this. It's part of your spiritual growth right now. It's part of your spiritual evolution. And there's something that you need to get really quiet about so that you can hear clearly what your team is trying to say to you. A lot of our gadgets create a lot of energetic noise, so it's hard for them to get through. So find a way for quiet. All right, my dear. So Anne, yes. Okay, Anne, you must be doing the same thing. So your card is the Island. This is all about solitude. So it's a very similar message. You need, every person is an island. It's time for you to be in a little bit of solitude. It also may be, like a lot of people, are going a little stir crazy in isolation. You've spent a lot more time with certain people than normal. Normally we have a break. People go off to work and we can have a few minutes to breathe on our own. Maybe we don't have that or haven't had that. And so this is a time to go, you know what? I love you, but I need my space right now. So I'm going to go in my room for the day. And it doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I need my own quiet time. I want to read. I want to have a cup of tea. I really just want to be alone in my own way. And give yourself permission to do that. And, other people will be happy because they need it too. Okay? All right. Or go out in the woods if that's accessible for you. Okay. Let's see. April, I believe you're next. Yes. So April, your card is the Breath card. Part of the forest. So when we go to the forest, for a lot of people, you step into the forest and you're like, you feel really grounded because of all those trees and all the earth energy. And it invites you to just really allow your breath to expand. The other thing that's important about the forest card and the breath is that when we're using our full lung capacity, then we are strengthening our immune system around our heart and our lungs. And right now that is super key with what's going on. We want to have as much resilience in that energy as we can. And it all goes into breathing. So notice when you're not breathing fully, when you're breathing shallow. It happens when we get nervous or anxious or we're uncomfortable in some ways. And then in the recognition, take that deep breath and blow out. And really allow the blow out to settle your energy. And if you don't feel your whole energy like drop down after that, then you might want to do a few deep breaths. And if you can't get out in the forest right now, one of the things that invites in that deep breath is stretching and yoga. There's a tree pose for a reason. And all of that invites calm, full, deep breathing. And that will help really settle some of the emotional energy that's radiating out around you. All right. Andrew, hi, dear. Woo! Tsunami card. That's a fun one. So the tsunami is a wake-up call. It's the hello, the cosmic 2x4. With the tsunami, we can see it coming, right? We can see change coming. So either you jump up on that surfboard and you ride that out, you take control and you ride the energy out, or it completely comes in and it destroys everything around you. And we're all having that right now. And so, and a lot of people are having wake-up calls around their health, their health and well-being, and maybe they're not approaching things in the way that's been good for them. You are very connected to the service industry, and maybe the wake-up call is that you need to do things differently, so that you stay healthy and safe. And maybe the wake-up call is about what's your priorities, or where are your priorities, and how do you line up with that, and how do you allow that energy to come in. And so, maybe you've already had a little bit of the wake-up call, but it's coming. So either you get to acknowledge it, and work with it, and use all that energy to work with it, or it's going to create the change for you. Whenever possible, I create my own change, because when it's created for me, it's not always pretty. All right, let me know if you need any help. All right, Minnie. So your card is the iceberg card. And the iceberg card is really interesting because it's about the submerged energy. It's about what's hidden underneath. We're presented this little tip and we're like, wow, look at that big, and we don't even realize how much is underneath the surface. So something in this week, you're going to be presented with one thing, but there's so much underneath that's not apparent. When I see this card, it usually means there's some emotional undertones, or there's things that aren't being spoken. And we get that sense of something's not right and something's not getting said here. And if we don't ask the questions, or if we ignore it, then when we hit that iceberg, we hit the whole mountain, as opposed to what we thought was, just this little thing floating on the top. So look for communication that feels a little bit wonky. And when you have that sensation, it's your opportunity to open up communication and say, I'm not sure that I understand what you're talking about. And really try to encourage the other people to speak their truth, so that you don't have to hit it head on. Kind of like the tsunami, except yours is more of a mountain. All right. Christina. So yours is the DNA card, and it's all about karma. So many people, as we're going through this energetic evolution, the 12-strand DNA has been activated for many people. Some people it was activated a while ago, but it's sort of coming up for everybody right now. And in that energy, to hold the 12-strand DNA, we have to release some of our karmic debt. We have to clean up our karmic debt. It's kind of like we got to pay off our credit cards. Otherwise, they come in and seize the house. So that's what's going on right now. You are working through some karma. And so if you feel like there's things that, and you're like, where is this coming from? It's not coming from this current time. You're cleaning up sacred contracts that you did before. You are in a space where you're making amends for old things, and this is going to require a lot of healing too. So make sure that you are getting healing when you need it, and giving healing or sharing healing when you are able, because that will also help. When we send healing into the situation, it helps. Okay? And remember that things are a sphere, they're not flat. So when you're doing healing on a flat surface, you're missing the nuances. Remember, it's a sphere. All right. Shirley. Hi, Mom. Hey, everybody, that's my mom. So here's your card. It's all about music. Yay! And harmony. How much have you been playing music? You're somebody who loves music going on, so have more music on in the background. So we've got the news going, or TV going, or movies, or stories are taking up our time, and your soul wants some music. And if you're going to go walking, maybe bring some music with you when you're walking too. Bring in some oldies but goodies, things that make you want to get moving and dance or sing along. And that will help restore rhythm and balance. And I know that you love your chair yoga, and that's what your body needs for harmony, is some more music. Get that jazz music playing, and just listen to some stuff that really speaks to you, because that will help. Music is like a tuning fork for our own energy system, and it's a way for us to remember how to be in rhythm. All right, love you, Mom. All right, Kimberly. Hi, sweetie. So your card, my dear, is the whale card. And this is the breach card. So, think about how big a whale is, and, probably a whale's been told it can't fly, but they can really gather a bunch of energy and break free of the water and have that moment where they're flying through the air before they end up back in the water. And they have that weightless moment as they go through. And that's what's coming up. This energy surging to burst through. And that burst of energy is the breach. And so, there's been a lot of energy gathering forces, gathering strengths to break through this week. And when it breaks through, you'll have that moment of weightless energy, like nothing holding you down, nothing holding you back. When you have that energy where nothing's on you, that's when you put into action as fast as you can all of the plans and things that you are ready for, because it's like there's no resistance energy to stop it from happening. And then when you go back into the water, then everything's in flow. So yay! Use that full force. And when you feel that burst, and you'll know it, you're very empathic, intuitive, really go for it. Like, use it like a rocket. All right? Okay, Karen. Nice. So your card is the lotus flower. Yes, life is crazy for all of us. And this is the unfoldment card. And so, yeah, life is unfolding in a whole new way right now, right? And, you know, is it crazy, or is this really what normal is supposed to look like, and what we were doing as normal was crazy? Who knows? So right now you're in the lotus energy, which means there's an awakening energy at your crown. There's an opening of possibilities. There are things that are being presented to you that have never been presented before. And sometimes it feels like too good to be true. And when we do that, then our crown closes again. So be on the lookout for all of these wonderful possibilities. And what I keep hearing is, how good can you stand it? You know, we've gone through some of the crazy, and in the crazy, some amazing beauty and amazing things are going to happen. So how good can you stand it? Don't worry if it feels too good to be true. That's not true. There are things that you didn't know you were worthy of in the past, and now you're ready for. So lean into that and have fun with it, and allow things to open in this brand new way. Yay! Love that. All right, Tina. Hi, dear. So your card is the Wind card. And this is an activation. It's like the divine is blowing breath into something brand new. But this is like an awakening within you too. It's like activating your spiritual gifts, like flicking the switch on for something that you haven't had on in a while. You know, you might have gone, oops, I don't want to use that, and turn the light off, and then you forgot what that switch was for. And the divine is going to blow in some energy and activate some things. Now, when the activations happen, sometimes it's startling, and sometimes it comes in really rapidly, and it can feel very overwhelming. So remember, when that activation energy starts to happen, your best friend is to ground, and you might need to ground a few times a day as opposed to like once or twice a day. And do your best to lean in and try not to resist what wants to come in and come on, because it's leading to something better. And so sometimes there's a little bit of discomfort as the better comes in. Okay. And if you need help, reach out to one of us at Star Nation, because we've all gone through activations many times and can help you with that. All right. All right, Graham, I guess I must have missed. I think I missed Graham, who's Dinah's son. And then I'll do, yes. Okay, let me do that first. And so, thank you, Cooper. So Graham's card is the Fog card. So right now, some stuff may seem like you don't know what's going on. And you don't know what's happening, and nobody seems to know the answer. So things like, you know, we don't get to play baseball right now. And will we get to play baseball at all this summer? Nobody really knows. And so it's still not clear yet. So some of the stuff that's coming up right now, it's hard because it's different and we can't see through it, and we don't know if it's going to look the same afterwards. Because sometimes when the fog lifts, right, the ground is now wet, and so things look shiny and different. So that's kind of what's happening is you don't have all the information for what's going to go on in this week. So don't worry about it. You don't need to know right now. That's why you don't know. And sometimes it's hard to not know. But it's okay, because think of it this way, that the divine is still creating. It's like they're cooking behind the curtain, and they haven't finished. So they can't show you what they're cooking yet because it's not done. So sometimes that makes us uncomfortable. It makes us feel anxious or nervous because we need to know or we want to know. But you're not going to get to know in the next week or so. So try to just do your best to let that go and know that it's still cooking. All right. Now, Roberta, Bobby. Phew, another week. Here we are. You get a volcano. So volatility. So this just means you might be a little cranky. That you may have cranky people around you. And the volcano energy usually is that there's old anger that never got expressed and somebody just says the right thing and you just blow. And it just means you finally get to say what you want to say. It just may not come out in this pretty nice way. And try to be okay with that. And it either will be you who does the exploding, or it may be somebody else does the exploding around you, but they're going to say their truth and you'll be like, well, I never knew you felt that way. And they're like, I know, because I never told you. And you're like, well, I would have done things a lot differently if I'd known. So either you'll be on the receiving end of that or on the giving end of that, maybe both. So there's some hot tamale energy that's going to be going, if it hasn't already started to percolate. Do the best you can. That's all you can. But, you know, there's some real hot, fiery energy underneath there. And it's got some old anger and resentment attached to it. And it's good. It needs expression. Because inside it starts to eat away at our body, and we do not need that. Okay? All right, sweetie. Martina. Hi, dear. Oh, nice. You should get together with my mom. Your card is the dance card. This is the celebration card. So it's like it's time to turn up the music and dance, have a celebration. You know, sometimes we've gotten through something really difficult and we deserve to have some fun. A good friend of mine, Francesca, she sometimes does a dance party, like a Zoom, and puts music on and we all dance around. So it's a way for us to get together and have the dance party that we want to have. And that community sense. But you really need to celebrate. And music and dancing and maybe some cool food. But it's time. It's time to celebrate and give yourself space to allow yourself to celebrate. Everything doesn't have to be so dark and dreary. There are some really cool things that are happening too, not just all the negative stuff that people are focused on. The whole point is for us to shift our focus to what's important in our lives and celebrating ourselves and our successes. That's important. Okay? Nice to have you. All right, Brenda. So your card is the dragonfly. So the dragonfly is sort of birthed out of the muck, you know, very similar to the lotus. And so something about you, some situation is really coming to the surface. And it's been cooking underneath the surface for a long time. And now it's starting to really come out and it's ready to take flight. So if you have some creative ideas that have been percolating, now's the time to really start to solidify your plans around that and finding ways to take action. If your spiritual gifts are starting to wake up a little bit more, maybe lean in and practice with them and see ways that you could develop them gently so that you start to become more comfortable with them and who you are. All right. All right. Thank you. Mary. Hi, Mary. Your card is the ebb and flow card. I love the ocean. This is my favorite. I moved here so I could be closer to it. So this is all about understanding that the tides come in and the tides go out. It's all the natural flow of things. And so in this energy right now, you know, some things are meant to be coming towards you and some things are meant to be going back out to sea. And we can't control the ocean and we can't control the divine flow. And so when we understand that, we can just find some peace and solitude in just being in the place of this is the rhythm of things, and what goes out comes back in. It's the water never leaves. It just recedes at times. And then other times it washes over you. So just be aware that you will have both things. There will be abundance, and then there will be breathing space. And then there will be abundance of energy and then breathing space. So give yourself that sense. And when you're feeling like you aren't connected to the flow, I would visualize the ocean. I even have it on my sound machine, and it helps restore my personal rhythm. And maybe that would work for you as well. All right. Carolina, hello, my dear. Nice to have you. You're the one who left the flowers? Oh, thank you. I wondered who it was. I was like, somebody left me flowers. They're beautiful on my step. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So your card, my dear, is the cave card. So it's very similar to earlier, a couple people earlier. Your card is the sanctuary card. And my place is called Sanctuary. So it's time for you to find a place that feels like your sanctuary, where you feel safe, where you feel held, you know, your own personal cave, and allow yourself that space. Sanctuary is where we can let down our guard because we know the divine has us. And when the divine is holding us, then we feel more like we can let go the reins and we can be at peace inside of ourselves. So how can you find this space for you that feels like this? You know, maybe it's just having a special chair in your house where it's your space and your cocoon. The weather's getting nicer. Maybe there's a place outside where you can gather and you feel connected to the divine in yourself. But we can create that sacred space within ourselves. And sometimes it just helps to have either a space or like an altar or something that reminds you that you have sanctuary. And, you know, it doesn't even hurt to ask the divine to create a sanctuary for you, create a sacred space for you so that you can just breathe and be yourself and that you don't have to carry so much worry and stress that you do. Because it makes it hard to breathe, right? It gets really caught in the lungs and it's hard to not spin in the thoughts. So ask your team for that. Ask the divine, pray for it, and know that you have the power to do that. Okay? All right, my dear. Thank you so much again for the flowers. Ellen, hi, dear. Nice to see you. So your card is the river card. This is the movement card. So even when the water looks completely still, it's always moving. It's never stationary. There's no point where the drops just freeze unless it's ice, right? So the river is always moving and it's venturing its way around, it's winding. So the same drop, you know, if you pick up a cup of, you know, you scoop a cup of water and you pour it back into the river, if you scoop again, it's completely new. Even if it's in the same spot, it's a completely new cup of water, right? So this is about Even though things may seem the same, there's always movement, there's always change. Do you acknowledge this change, or do you stay frozen in the moment? And sometimes it's just a matter of catching ourselves and seeing whether we're in the movement or we're stuck in our perceptions. So when we get stuck in our perceptions, we don't necessarily see the shift and the change in ourselves or in other people, because we're holding on to antiquated ideas and beliefs that have just been part of ourselves for so long. So maybe create some movement in those, and then you'll start to feel and sense the movement inside yourself. Beautiful. Love that. All right, Kylie. Hi, dear. So your card is the full moon, and this is the completion card. So in the full moon energy, it's the end of a cycle. So in this next week, it's not the full moon energetically, but something is coming to a completion. You know, it's been churning and moving and wrapping itself up. And so in the fullness of that, it's like, phew, this is finally done. It's done, check mark, it's off my list. I don't have to do it anymore. It's complete. And allow it to complete. Allow yourself to celebrate the completion, that it's finally done, because then it makes room for new things to come in and a new thing for you to work on and tackle and experience. But when we get caught up in it's always been this way, and we try to hold on to it, we lose some opportunities for new wonderful things to come in. So see what is coming into completion. Like I said, celebrate that completion. Give yourself permission to pat yourself on the back, and then move forward into the brand new and see what's new that can be tackled, that can invoke completion 3 months from now. All right, love it. Have fun with that. Christine. Hi, dear. So your card is the shape-shifting card. It's the clouds card. And again, clouds are beautiful, but they're never the same for very long, right? The wind takes them, they go in a different way, and they change their shape. And the next thing they know, first they look like a lion, and then they look like, you know, a fish, and then they look like a flower. But it doesn't occur to the clouds to try to stay the same, right? So the energy for you is like, how do you shift you? How do you shift the energy of your expectations around the situation that's coming up? How do you adapt to all of this change? And how are you willing to really allow yourself to just move with it? And think of being that cloud. I would even take a picture, you know, like Google cloud formations or something, and print it and have it up to remind yourself that how much they change, and how, you know, no matter what, you're still a cloud, but you can be all sorts of clouds, and they travel everywhere. And sometimes they bring in the sunlight, and sometimes they bring in the rain, what's ever needed, and just allowing yourself to be whatever needs to be and be how you need to be, and allowing the situations around you to do that as well, because it'll feel less constricting, and it'll feel less like you're fighting to make things happen within yourself and within other people. Okay. All right. Emily, hi, dear. Nice. So your card is the Dream Time card, and it's the creation card. So what it's saying for you is that there's a lot of creation energy that's awakening while you're sleeping. Your brain is thinking through all different possibilities and trying to come up with new ones, and new energy is flowing in and the divine is sparking possibilities for you. So the dreams that you're having, if you remember them, you need to write them down, because there's ideas and messages and information that's coming through. If you don't remember them, invite what's coming through during dream time to be unveiled to you throughout your day. You can say, I know you were trying to communicate with me last night, but for some reason I couldn't see it or I don't remember it. So can you help show me today what you were trying to tell me while I was sleeping? And that will allow some space for that. This is also a big time of precognition. So there are times when we're actually sensing and seeing ahead of time what is going to unfold. So it's like the creation energy is already started when we're sleeping, so we can see it and kind of know what's going to be happening. So we're ready for it and we can take action in a new way. We don't have to react to the situation. We know it's coming, so we can use that to our advantage to create new things. All right, have fun. Deborah, so you got the other moon, you got the new moon. And this is the promise energy. So the new moon is new possibilities and new things. It's the promise of good things to come. So the energy right now is that brand new things are happening for you. Brand new things are awakening. And it promised, there's like, my heart feels like that promise, like you got a promise ring from the divine. And so it's showing you there's so many wonderful possibilities that are coming up. And really just, you have the opportunity to choose what makes your heart sing, what really invites your joy. Sometimes it makes you cry, it's like, oh my gosh, you finally get me. And that's good too. And when you feel that really strong visceral reaction, know that's the way you want to lean and that's where you want to head, because that's where your energy is being called. It's not really at all how your logic brain may think of it. It's really all about listening to your heart, allowing your heart to guide you, because there's some beautiful doors being opened for you. And there's just this promise of so much joy and happiness if you lean into that possibility. Nice. Love that. Love that for you. All right, Jackie. Oh, I love this one because this is the crystals card, but it's really hard to see, but those are all purple. They're amethyst, which calls in the focused energy. It calls in our third eye. There's other crystals there as well. So this is about awakening and focusing on your intuition in a fuller way. We talk about the sixth sense, or we've talked about that in the past. And my team is very much connected to the seventh sense, which is, inviting in the intuition of our higher self, not even just our self, but our higher self. And when we can work those in together, then we're able to really shift our perception and really hone in and narrow our focus. So it's like we're creating a laser beam of energy. So rather than sending out a light that sort of shines and lights up the whole thing, we gather all the strength of the light and we really spotlight what's important to us, what we want to create, how we want to live our life. And it's very much like that. The amethyst crystal is still speaking really loudly from the card. So if you have amethyst, I would bring it out and honor it and use it. If you don't have any, you can call on it. You can look at a picture of it and you can ask the energy and the vibration from the amethyst to connect to you and help you focus your intention. It also helps ground the third eye energy so that you're psychic abilities, if they're waking up in a brand new way, they can be grounded so you can learn how to understand them and use them so that you don't feel like you're a victim of your gifts, but that you're a recipient. All right. Nice. Phew. All right, Brienne. Nice. So your card is the fire card. I don't know if you've ever seen a fire eater. These are crazy. Crazy good, but I would never try it. So this is about, being really brave and really using all of that courage and all of that fire to go after what you desire. What are you passionate about? What makes you really want to get up in the morning? Even if you don't have it right now, what would create that for you? And allow yourself space to have that energy. Sometimes we've been taught to keep our fire quiet. It's not ladylike, or you're too loud or too much or too sensitive. And that's a bunch of baloney. So this is about really taking all that fire energy. And again, it's kind of like the crystals, like focusing it. But for you, it's really connected to the fire element. And, if you want to bring it in and you're not sure how, you might want to have a candle that's dedicated to that. You can anoint the candle to help you access your passion and your desire. You can rub it with like frankincense or some other oil so that it carries that vibration for you. It might be red in color. It might be yellow or orange, whatever one speaks to you. But that fire just really wants to get lit. And if we symbolically light a candle, sometimes that invites our energy body to do the same thing. So get on it, because it's really hot. And that means there's a lot that wants to be birthed from that. Okay. All right. Jen. Hi, dear. Nice to have you here. So your card is the rainbow card. This is the blessings card. So this tends to be a very symbolic card. So whenever you see a rainbow or something that triggers rainbow in your recollection, know that you are getting, like, sometimes they call it a God wink. You're getting, a little blessing from your angels, a little blessing from your spiritual team. It's a little penny on the path to let you know that you're going the right way. So be on the lookout for rainbows. And every time you see one, in the next week especially, say thank you. And if you want that to continue to be a symbol of connection with your team, you just keep saying thank you. And rainbows in chakra energy symbolized a balanced energy. So when you have a rainbow appear, your energy is balanced, you're grounded, you are in the fullness of your own energy. So it's very symbolic of, hey, you're in alignment. Hey, you're in alignment. And when we're in alignment, we can create whatever we want and however we want in our life. So start looking for those rainbows. And thank you for reminding all the rest of us to look for them too, because it works for all of us, not just for you. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Angela. Hello, dear. Thank you for the blessings. So your card is the Stone People card. And this is the Vigilance card. And in a lot of the traditions, the stone people, the mountains, they look over us, They appear to be standing still, but we know with the wind and the erosion, they're changing every day as well. It just may not be noticeable to us when we're in an unaware state. but they watch over us. And so you are being invited to connect to that energy, and you can call on the stone people and ask them to help you become more aware of the subtle changes that are going on around you. To bring that in, you can have an actual stone that you hold on to. You know, like people will hold those little worry stones. You can use a crystal, but sometimes having that physical symbol to hold on to, you can ask the energy to help you become more aware. And vigilance usually means that we're having a sense of feeling insecure or unsafe, or just feeling unsettled, and we need a little more stability in our life. So we can ask the rocks and the stones, and we can ask our crystals to help us find that strength, find that resilience to withstand any storm, right? And to help us stand sturdy so that we really feel more comfortable moving forward in our lives. And again, if you don't have one or can't get one right now because it's hard to get around, right? You can always just get a picture of it on your computer and print it. And then that'll let you have that energy too. Okay? All right, dear. All right, Jackie. So your son John, this is your John's card. I have the son John too. So your card, John, is the tree card. This is all about grounding. Now see how it looks like a reflection below and it matches above? So it's really not, because it's the roots of the tree, but the roots underneath of the tree look very similar to the branches of the tree. So, you know, if you can imagine that you are the tree trunk, you know, above you, your branches above you is how you connect to the sun. And that's how we connect to the divine masculine or God, however you experience that. And then we have beneath us, we may not feel those, but beneath our feet, we have these roots that really connect us. And those roots can be our family, our friends, you know, it's all the ways we're connected to other people and other things on the planet. It could be our animals, it could be the sports we play, the teams we love, you know, they're all things that ground us. So right now, we're having trouble connecting to all the things beneath us, right? We're having trouble connecting to our friends and getting to do the things that we love to do. And because of that, things can feel kind of uncomfortable and unsettled. And we're all getting a little antsy that we can't do everything we want to do. And we can't be where we want to be. And so when that happens, it can really topple our tree a little bit. So you can practice doing grounding. And to do that, you can just pretend that you're a tree. And when you pretend that you're a tree, you pretend that your body is the tree trunk, as thick and as sturdy as you can imagine it. And then you just visualize and see roots beneath your feet. And those are all your friends and your family and all the things that you're connected to, all the things you love to do. They're in your roots. And then what do you want to bloom on your tree? You know, do you want to have, you know, more time with your friends? Do you want to have time outside? Do you want to go swimming? Do you want to play sports? Like whatever would bring the sunlight in, start thinking of that. And try to do that every day, and it'll help you not get too uncomfortable with how different things are right now. because sooner or later we'll get to a new version of normal, and then it won't feel so uncomfortable. All right. And now for Jackie, for you, Jackie, yours is the winter solstice. And the winter solstice card is the reflection card. So, you know, if you think about the winter solstice, December 22nd, you know, we're in that place where we're starting to go into hibernation. You know, after the holidays, we kind of go inward and we decompress. And so even though we aren't in the winter physically right now, we are in a place where we're in solitude a little bit, and we're being invited to reflect on our life and what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and we start to envision what seeds we're going to plant for change. What would we like to bloom? And how do we get there? And so this can be done in writing. It can be done in meditation. There's a phrase that keeps coming in, what if? What if I could do this? What if I could do that? What if I could be this? And maybe try that and allow that to come in writing and see how that works. And, you know, we do what ifs on things that have gone on in the past, trying to change it. But how about you flip it around and use it to create for the future? Does that make sense? All right. Thank you. Janet, nice to have you, sweetie. This is perfect for you. This is the spring equinox card, which is the rebirth card. And that rabbit is all about abundance and fertility and rebirthing and creating a new Janet and creating a new life and becoming more you. So this is a time for you to recreate who Janet is, how Janet lives, how Janet wants to be. And you know that, you feel that. The energy is very fertile for that, which means that, you know, pretty much any seeds that you plant right now to create for a new life for yourself can be watered and cared for and brought up. And, you know, this isn't the time for harvest. This is the time for planting. So, and it's falling really directly with spring, which is great. And a lot of yours really took place connected to May Day, which is the midway point between spring and summer. So just know that your harvest, you know, think of, you know, what you're planting now can really start to birth most fully by fall. So let yourself play the what if game. What if I could do this and not have to worry about money? What if? And just see what comes for you and what you can create that way too. Nice. All right. Andrea. Hi, dear. So your card is the lightning card. This is a lot of power. Okay. So when lightning comes in, it's divine inspiration. There's a lot of force, a lot of energy behind it. And if we're grounded, we can have the inspiration hit us, it can get anchored, and it gets grounded into the earth. If we aren't grounded, if we aren't connected, then that inspiration hits and we get ungrounded, we get overwhelmed, we're like, oh no, what do I do? And we short circuit. So make sure you're really doing a lot to ground your energy so that what's coming into you, it has a lot of force, but it can inspire you and it helps create change rather than knocking you on your fanny. Because right now you're in that slightly wobbly energy where it's almost like you could get blown over with a feather. So we want to get you really nice and grounded so that when that surge of energy comes through, it's grounded and it doesn't short circuit. That's what I keep hearing. So it doesn't short circuit. And remember that trees are really good at grounding. So even any essential oil that's that tree smell can help. Root vegetables, they're very grounding. And, you know, in the next week, there's going to be this big burst. So either you ground the energy or you're going to get a little fried feeling. And if you get fried feeling, then reach out to a healer. There are a whole bunch of us here at Star Nations because that can really fray your nerves and make it really hard to function if you just short circuit. And we've all had it, so let us help. All right. Maureen, nice to have you. Woohoo! A card to center you. Well, this is a very good card to center you. This is the Lake card. And it's the Stillness card. So a lake is very different than a river, right? It's calm. It's serene. It's water. And so that's the visualization, not the ocean that has all that movement, right? This is calm, quiet. And in that calm, quiet, that's where you find that very inner layer of the center. And because you are so gifted and so connected, if that very minuscule line in the center is slightly out and it's slightly in the future, pulling it back to center so that you can find your own personal stillness. There you go. That's where you want to hang out. So know when you're feeling that jittery feeling that your energy's gotten a little too far in the future. And for you, too far is like the width of a piece of paper. But it would be like feet for other people. So just know that you're leaning slightly into the anxiousness of the what ifs of the future. And rather than looking at the possibilities, you're looking at possibilities, but more of what could go wrong rather than what could go right. So it's like pulling it back out of this shadow future and getting back into the centered still now. And so use the lake, that lake energy or a pond. No one else around and just that quiet. That will help. Okay? All right. Carol, your card is the Shaman, which is the ancient healing wisdom. So the shaman energy is inviting you to tap. Well, number one, I'm hearing that a shamanic healing would be great for you to receive sometime soon. And so there are a lot of people who carry that shaman energy. I'm sure you know a bunch. And so that is very helpful. But then there's also this inner shaman that's trying to activate for you. And I don't know if you do healing work yourself or you're just really connected to the earth creatures and things like that. But there's some wisdom there that would like to be learned. So I don't know for you if that is a new class or a new book, but it's like, or picking up an old book that you read a long time ago, but you've never been able to apply. It's that ancient healing wisdom that would like to come in, and it has a very native feel to it. And in the native tradition, there's some You know, shaman has an odd flavor depending on faith traditions and things like that. But it's really this ancient earth healing medicine that wants to come through. And there's a particular animal, feels important. You know what it is, I believe. And if you don't know in this instant, you'll know the next animal that you see of significance. That's the type of connection that will help you anchor and awaken that energy. And you know a bunch of us who can help you with that. So if you need some help, let us know. All right, Linda. Hi, dear. You made it. So your card is the autumn equinox. So the autumn equinox is the shedding. This is the releasing. So right now, you're really letting go of whatever isn't working for you. You're really shedding what, you know, the leaves changed and they were beautiful and brilliant, and now it's time for them to fall down and make room for new leaves to come through. And this also is a time that when we're releasing, we're starting to go into hibernation mode. So we're releasing the old. We're making room for the tree to just root itself, and then for new buds to come in and new leaves to grow and glow. So your focus for the next few weeks is about what's ready to release. How can you release it? What are you willing to lovingly let go of so that something even better can come in? Because there's new energy that wants to come in. And when we hold on too tightly, we hoard on the energy of the past, then new brilliance can't come in. And when we're chock full, then there's no shift and there's no change and there's no possibility. So we don't want that. So we want to see how much you can release. And I just feel lovingly let go. Just lovingly let go. All right. Nice to have you here, sweetie. All right. Let's see. Jacqueline. We're ending up with all these solstices. So yours is the summer solstice. I think we have them all now. So yours is all about being in that summer sun, that radiant sun, that fullness. So really shine your beautiful self. Really allow your radiant energy to be shared with others. There's a lot of darkness right now. And the sun, think about how when we've had dreary day after dreary day and the sun peeks out and we all just are like, ah, you are that for somebody else who's in their dreary energy. So how do you shine? How do you share that radiance so that somebody else can bask in that and remember their own? And that's going to be really key for you this week, because there's some people that you're connected to who are really having a dark time, or really they're feeling, you know, I'm seeing that like dark cloud over their head, and no matter where they walk, the cloud is following them. So, you know, break through that cloud with your sunshine, with your happiness, with your joy, with your love, and help break that apart for them. You know, and I don't know if you're a hands-on healer or not, but if you are, you know, it may be sending that light when it's solicited to help with that. All right. Thank you, sweetie. Amy. All right. Don't worry about a late. You arrived just in time. There's no late. So your card is the mountain card, the strength card. We had a really similar card. We had the stone people. But the mountain card is all about, you know, nothing can knock a mountain over, right? I mean, it takes a lot. So right now, it's about how do you call on your resilience? How do you call on your strength? What helps you feel solid and unshakable? You know, sometimes it's our faith, our divine connection. Sometimes it's our family. Sometimes it's our gifts. Whatever is your strength, allow yourself to lean on that, and use it to your benefit. We all have that stability, and when we call on that stability, we really can, sometimes we just need to be that. What I'm seeing is, you have the strength to move mountains, but you sometimes forget it, as we all do, right? So this is about call that in. Remember where it lives in your energetic body. Remember how you feel when you access it. Even Piglet in Winnie the Pooh, he can muster his inner strength to go on those adventures. No matter how shaky he may feel on the outside, he finds that fierce courage inside and does it anyways. So really tap into that, because it will help you get through this. And that way you aren't feeling so much overwhelmed, so much wash over you. And it will release that victim kind of energy that comes in when we feel like things are happening to us, rather than the spirit and the divine are creating new opportunities for us. Okay? All right. So you were the last card of the evening. I'm going to give the next card to my beautiful, beautiful, that was cute. I guess you're beautiful, Cooper. My wonderful co-host, Cooper. So yours is the wolf card. I would get a wolf symbol if I were you. That is about tapping into your instinct and your intuition. I have a feeling wolf might be part of your totem or one of your animals that speaks to you. And if it hasn't, maybe it's trying to right now. It can also show up as a dog, just so you know. But listen to that instinct, because it's guiding you. It's really trying to help you, keep you safe, but also help you point in the next direction for you. And that's true for all of us. So we want to tap into that higher knowing. And we all have that radar. Animals have it too. And we see it. They know when storms are coming and they know what to do. So tap into that so you can help yourself and help others. So with that, guys, thank you for helping me with my spiritual mission to help heal the healers, because it's time for us to shine our light and our brilliance. I welcome you to join me tomorrow evening at 7 for chakra sessions. We are going to be talking all about the root chakra and about what emotions are connected to when we're feeling a little shaky and unstable, and how do we start to bring our energy back into balance. So join me for that tomorrow night, and I will see you next week here on Soul Connections. Mwah. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.